each of you for being here. Over the last 15 years or so, drones have become increasingly a part of our lives. They've been used not only by the military, by law enforcement, by immigration authorities, but also by businesses, hobbyists, and other kinds of enthusiasts. Yet, in some instances, drones can present threats, grave threats, pretty dire threats. Meanwhile, the current regulatory framework creates a problem insofar as it inhibits state and local law enforcement from adequately addressing those same threats that can be uniquely posed by drones. That's why I introduced a bill called the SHIELD U Act, Stopping Harmful Incidents to Enforce Lawful Drone Use. And this legislation, once enacted, will help state and local law enforcement by giving them authority on a limited, constrained basis that they need in order to protect their citizens and their communities from those who would use drone technology to harm the public. Sergeant Dooley, let's start with you. Now, you've testified about the limitations imposed by federal law that effectively prohibit state and local law enforcement, in fact, they expressly prohibit them from effectively utilizing counter-drone, counter-UAS systems. This bill that I refer to, the SHIELD U Act, lifts some of those restrictions. How would passing that bill and granting limited counter-UAS capabilities enhance state and local law enforcement and your ability to protect the public?
Well, number one, I agree with almost everything that was said earlier is we do need some significant oversight. We need accountability. We need training. We need all these things. Like someone like me shouldn't exist where I had to figure it out on my own because there was
you should exist.
Well, but you understand what I'm getting at. There should be some type of oversight, guidance, and training where we could establish that. And then when this was rolled out, it would be controlled. Like, how would you mitigate something? Okay, why would you even set up a system in the first place in a particular location? Justify it. Why are you here? What are you going to do if you saw a drone in the airspace? Are you just detecting it that it's there and it's minding its own business, or is it a threat? Why did you do what you did? But the bill would dramatically increase our ability to keep critical infrastructure, VIPs, other mass like sporting events a lot safer, and people, like to the other senator's point, when you see a drone flying over the Cubs game, is it a friend or foe? And that's what we would like to do. Not necessarily interfering and, again, regulating what exactly is being detected. Remote ID, for example, it's not great. It's hard to detect at times because every drone broadcasts it slightly differently. But if you were doing standard RF detection or something of that nature where it's only picking up what type of drone it is and serial number, it's not telling you anything about the operator or the person operating it, nothing personal, right? We still have to go and follow the legal process to get that information. I think it would be of great use and of great help to public safety if used in the proper way.
That's a great point. I like the way you phrased it. I mean, it reminds me of an analogy Robin Williams once referred to the unarmed English Bobby, who, being unarmed, upon seeing the commission of a crime, yells, "Stop," or "I'll yell, stop again." But if you can't do more than that, there are going to be problems, and that's something we face with drones. Captain Wilson, let's go to you next. Now, you've highlighted the need for counter-UAS capabilities at and near the border. If state and local law enforcement capabilities were unleashed in the counter-UAS sphere, how would law enforcement efforts at the border be improved corresponding to that, or as a result of that, I should say?
It would allow us, law enforcement at all levels, to work closer together, to have, again, identify those locations that we wish to have a sensor, and based on activity or that's going on, and it'd keep us and the community safer, being able to detect, yes, sir, and detect, and then, if necessary, mitigate.
Secretary Dixon, when drones are detected overhead prison, a correctional facility, what are the security protocols that you go through once you see it?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. It's quite extensive. We lock the compound down. That can be for hours, days, weeks, in some cases, depending on the payload, the portion of the payload we discovered, if at all. Significant consequences occur between gangs and different members and different inmates in the institution if the payload doesn't make it to its intended target. So it's a dangerous situation. As I mentioned earlier,
no way that doesn't compromise your ability to operate correctional facilities in a manner that is effective and safe.
It absolutely does. In addition to, as I mentioned earlier, stop all the rehabilitative programming, the mental health programming, all those functions that we're supposed to carry out, we put on pause at a time we're already in a difficult staffing situation. I do want to, in appreciation for Senator Durbin's comment earlier as well, I do think there's a differentiation to be made between our environment in the prison setting versus the citizenry. When it comes to the Fourth Amendment, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy for those people we house there, and so we're simply asking for that when drones enter our airspace to be able to deal with them and mitigate the threat at that point.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.